I can hear those mean streets calling me. Just a few paychecks away. Yes, I can hear those mean streets calling me, saying, baby, won't you come down to stay?
We've been on this piece of property since 1946. My father and his brother came. We had open ground. We mostly farmed row crops, cotton, corn, alfalfa.
Great-grandpa moved from Nova Scotia back in about 1870, 1871. Back then it was wheat and figs, and today it's citrus and almonds and grapes.
My grandfather would tell me, you don't want to be a farmer, to hear him say that you don't want to be a farmer. I'd scratch my head, I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? What do I want to be? And after working in other industries, I found myself basically right back at the farm, wishing that I was still farming.
Last year we had to tear out and idle about 300 acres on our ranch. Owed real estate payments on that and taxes on that and water assessments on that land, and it couldn't produce anything. Our asparagus harvest will lay off probably about between 250 and 300 people.
One major aspect in California that's been noticed locally in the valley over the last 2 to 3 years is major packing houses that have shut down, that they cannot make it anymore, that there's not enough sales out there to make revenue, to make it worthwhile to pack their fruit. Many, many more small family farms have closed down.
There's families here in Waterford that have lost milk contracts, they've had for years. And, the cows are still there, the dairy's there, but what a hit. It's a huge hit.
The family dairies are just falling apart. You have to have at least 1,000 cows now to survive in this system, and that's just been so sad to watch people that have no idea what they're going to do with their life now.
We have a small farm. We don't have enough money to buy the insurance for the labor, so not only me and my wife, I don't know how to do it. I call my friend and my cousin, hey, today you come to helping me picking vegetable, then tomorrow, and then we go helping you. But we're more than 6, then they come, they say, we don't care, give you ticket.
Right now our problem is that prices haven't gone up since about 1982, so we're fighting inflation along the way. You just look across the street right here where you're coming, there's about 500 acres of peaches, and that used to be all Thompson seedless grapes at one time. And they've pulled them out, and you'll see if you drive around, there's a lot of almonds and things that weren't here 10 years ago. It's just the people that could afford it pull it out. If I could afford to sustain myself without 40 acres of grapes, I'd have a bulldozer in here today.
Production agriculture is a very tricky, low-margin business.
The medium-scale farmer that used to be able to sell wholesale at a decent price, we're too small now. And the big consolidated grocery stores don't want to hear or see from us. They want a couple giant growers where everything's uniform and easy to talk to just 1 or 2 people. I mean, the number of produce managers in the state, I'm not sure, I'm not very good at keeping hold of statistics, but there's probably no more than a quarter of what there were 20 years ago.
It's very common to spend probably $300 to $400 a week on gas and hotels running off to farmers markets all over the state.
Farmers markets are extremely time consuming and very subjective to weather, time of year, Sometimes when you really expect it to be good, it could just be dead. And you have all of this product that's perishable. It's not the same when it's 3 or 4 days old, so they're real iffy. Sometimes they can be hot, sometimes they can be cold.
Smaller farmers, 20, 40, 60, 80 acre farmers, are getting fewer and far between. And most of what we used to consider family scale farms now, there's at least 1 or 2 outside jobs that are supporting them.
Aid from the government? None. None. We've tried a couple times to get subsidies to buy tractors and stuff, but we're pretty far down the list.
Grapes aren't a subsidized commodity like your corn and cotton and those soybeans or whatever the government subsidizes. It's just one of those things you make or break on your own.
Larger corporate farms, I mean, they have money to have lobbyists, and they could go straight to their congressmen and say, hey, we're this big corporate farm, we need money. If I went to my congressman, he'd say, who are you? That's the bottom line. We're just not big enough for the government to consider us important.
I buy insurance from the USDA. 2 years ago, the very heavy frost, like a 24 degree, very heavy frost. They kill everything. I paid $300 a year. They pay me back about $99. I lost about, if I go to market, like $2,000 a week. They didn't pay me anything.
When people think of agriculture in America, they think of the Midwest, corn, soybeans, cotton, that kind of stuff. But I don't think people are aware of agriculture here in the Valley. And I think if Farm Aid came, at least would make an awareness that, hey, we have crops and we have the same problems that other farmers have, but we don't get the attention from Washington or anybody else.
We raise, in a lot of cases, 100% of that type of fruit or that type of nut that's raised in all of the United States. It's the only place we can grow them. And as long as farmers are having a harder and harder time making money and are willing to sell to the developers just to get out from under this financial cloud, and as long as their children in general have seen them working so hard for so little reward, financial reward, that their children aren't staying to farm, this is really at risk, and this region is an absolute jewel.
We had the opportunity to educate people who would make an effort to understand what a resource was being lost to this country by having such hardship in the rural communities.
And really get the message across that there's higher value in the small farms that are in California. As these generations sell off farms to provide for their families, some of the best soils in the world are getting paved over.
I can hear those mean streets calling me. Just a few paychecks away. Yes, I can hear those mean streets calling me, saying, baby, won't you come down to stay? There's no value left in a craftsman's hands, locked up, shut down, they laid off every man. I can hear those mean streets calling me. Just a few paychecks away. Yes, I can hear those mean streets calling me, saying, baby, won't you come down to stay? Trade the family house for a sleeping row, my work on the line for life on the door. Leave the wife and kids so they can eat. This is what happens when the end